The case of Mega Mart in Catherine's Hall, Montego Bay closing permanently is a striking one. As per the Jamaica Gleaner article, at least 165 families are now impacted with this closure. What it is that we must see is that Megamart is a big retail chain in Jamaica's context. So for it to actually close this location, citing that it's going to take a significant amount of funding and time to rebuild from start, gives indication as to the reality that whether or not we small or big in terms of our economic level, we all can be seriously impacted by natural occurrences such as Hurricane Melissa. Now, what I want to highlight is that it is very important, people, that we fully be aware about the geography as it regards to where we set up our businesses or our physical properties. Catherine's Hall is sandwiched between two drainage points, basically considered as rivers that drain into the sea. Now, with that being said, it is also on a floodplain. So, in essence, it is going to be relatively easy for the banks of the rivers to become, breached when it comes to flood time. Now, mention was made on the part of the commerce personnel in Montego Bay, indicating that this was the first of a flooding of this magnitude within the era, and the last that he can recall would have been prior to him being born. Now, with this being said, we must keep in mind that back in 2024, Johns Hall experienced significant flooding. And, the flooding actually went viral. We even made a video of this on YouTube. What it is that we must see now is that in terms of the flooding in Johns Hall, is the same kind of drainage system that drains down to where actually lets out in the sea. And this is the same, rivers that pretty much would have overflown its banks in Hurricane Melissa. The point is, be fully aware that when you see a water system nearby, it basically has to receive some inflow further upstream. And in essence, if it's a case that we're talking about development and rebuilding in a resilient manner, we must ensure that we employ the services of the personnel who are fully aware about the geosciences. See, where you are concerned whether or not you're big or you're small, make sure you tap into people who know geo. See? Because at the end of the day, if it don't make no sense, we're going to think about rebuilding in zones that are high risk zones. If it's a case that you intend to do this, make sure that the proper assessment is done and you make sure you put in the money what needs to be put in, and do not try to do no shorthand type of thing.